Welcome everyone to December 1st, the first day of the last month of the year, and the first day that ULTY trades after the reverse split. And not surprisingly, ULTY was down today. It just had to be down 1.84%. Their new price is $39.56. They opened at around $40 a share and dipped below that. So yeah, the reverse split has happened. It was a 1-to-10 reverse split. So they just divided existing share counts by 10, and that's your new ULTY position. But let's take a look at the underlying holdings because the reverse split is just a math problem. We'll sort it from, let's see, we got high to low. Gold was up. Looks like analog devices, a recent addition, was up. Everything else was down. So only 2 winners and 23 losers. The worst one was NewScale SMR, down 9.6%. Bitcoin is also down 5.92%. Let's check the price of Bitcoin, $86,000 a coin. So quite a drop there. Everything else kind of had a fairly muted day. Surprisingly, the TMF Direxion Treasuries down 3.68%. And one of the big winners from the previous few weeks, Google, down 1.5%. So on average, the stocks were down 2.15% today. If you put that into perspective and look at the overall markets, QQQ was down 0.34%. And let's see, the S&P 500 was down 0.46%. There were no new trades in the portfolio. If we look, they just placed some more options trades, a lot around Bitcoin. If we look at the holdings from last week, they have a relatively small cash position now. They're holding FGXXX, which is a money market fund. They have 51 million in that. And then looks like about 30 million in cash. So about 81 million overall in cash. 2.2% plus 3.7% is 5.9%. So about 6% in cash, which is a lot lower than we've normally seen. Like if I were to go back way back to, let's say, the 9th of September, or the 10th of September, excuse me, they had 18% in cash. If we look at, the 18th of September, they had 18% in cash as well. And then if you look at, let's say, October 8th, again, 18% in cash. So they have a very small cash position. I think one of the reasons that might be is as they start to diversify into names that are less volatile and therefore generate less premium, they can't hold on to these big cash reserves and still generate options premium. So if they used to have about 18% of their fund in cash, but they had high volatility stocks that generated a lot of premium, so they could pay higher distributions, that was great. But if they now hold less volatile stocks, they need to hold less in cash and put more of that cash into stocks so that they can generate more premium. That's just a theory. Let me know what you think. Or do you think that maybe their cash reserves will go back up? I'm not saying it's bad or good. In fact, as interest rates go down, it's probably better to hold less cash and deploy it out there. So this could be a good thing that they're holding less cash. Now, we talked about what was up and what was down. So let's actually go to the equity stat tracker. So let's see what did the best right now. It is Google at 7.9 million, up 14.4%. GDX is looking good, up 12.6%, making them about 6.1 million. They've even taken money off the table with GDX, a $1.1 million gain there. Worst performer looks like it's Circle Internet, down 7.9 million or 12.86%. So overall, a lot of these positions are in the green just on stock alone, which is good to see because if we look at their previous trading, we'll sort it by quantity zero, meaning they've zeroed out other positions. You can see they've lost a lot in stock positions. In fact, Oklo was one that they sold out of, and they lost about $11 million on that trade in stock. So You can see all this red where they've done poorly, but now they're in the green a lot on some of these stock positions. So hopefully that continues. And so finally, we've got the dashboard of options plus stock. So I've got the options premium here and the realized gain or the paper gain here, and then a total column here. This is just the same thing that I was tracking over here, but I'm now using the equity stat table, so it's a lot faster to update. So again, if we do quantity not equal to 0, we'll see the current positions and how they're doing on those, just in terms of gain and options premium. And we see that most of them are actually positive. Google is up 6 million despite the options premium negative. GDX up 5.8 million despite negative options premium. PWR, this company that I'd never heard of, but is actually, I guess, a pretty prominent company. I know the Granny Shots GRNY ETF owns it, up 2.9 million. GLD 2.5 and Teradyne up 1.6, and the QQQ up, Teradyne is up 2.1, QQQ is up 1.6 million. So good trades there. Circle Internet, I think I called it when they bought it that this seemed like a bit of a meme stock, especially because ULTY, or not ULTY, but yieldmax initiated a covered call ETF on this stock, so just a single one, and they seem to have bad luck with that. I remember when they did the HIMS one, and that just tanked like HIMS. Circle Internet down 6.1 million, but not the most egregious loss in ULTY history, especially if we look at what are the biggest losses in ULTY history, at least since I've been tracking. Let's do quantity equal to 0 so we can see the realized trades. You see here, Oklo. This one's interesting. I'm saying 103 million. The reason I say that is when I look at all the Oklo trades that I've captured in their daily files since September the 11th, their total options premium is down 92 million. I had to double check that. So they owned it before September 11th. They sold out of it and they bought back in on November 6th. I think we can actually, yeah, here's the one with the stock trade. So you see they sold Oklo. I have that kind of enlarged there. I just need to edit the formula. They sold Oklo on the 16th of September, sold another position on the 18th, and then another position on the 19th they were getting out of it. So I don't know when they originally bought their first round of Oklo, but I know when they sold it, it was in September. And late September, it was a huge position, it looked like. And then they bought back in November 6th. And just all told, the options premium is down negative 92 million on Oklo, but not on the current Oklo trade. So that one could be a little bit misleading, but because I don't know how much they made off their original Oklo trade. Anything else I wanted to point out from here? I don't think so. That's kind of the old portfolio. The new portfolio of ULTY stocks looks a lot better. This total is about positive 21 million, which 21 million on their current, whatever their current holdings are, let's see, 1.3 billion, is pretty good. Let's see what that is. 21, 123, 123. And we'll just do some quick math here, guys. Divide by that. Up 1.5%. So respectable, considering they've achieved that in a fairly short amount of time, but they have put in a lot of work to get that 1.5%. Anyways, guys, I'm rambling. Hope you have a great December, and I'll see you in the next video.